Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, my name is Ejatu.shaw and I'm a London-based photographer. A lot of us are currently in a lockdown, so as far as shooting goes, the only subjects we may have access to are our family members. At some point last summer during lockdown, another lockdown, since there have been many lockdowns, I decided to photograph my little brother. And this was his first ever shoot. So I really wanted to show you guys the behind the scenes to give you some tips on how to go about photographing family members, friends, flatmates, just anyone who you might have access to that wouldn't mind doing a bit of modeling for you. Tip number 1, shooting on film. So during the shoot, I of course shot on my Canon A1 using Kodak Colorplus film. Shooting on film is quite helpful when photographing anyone that might be new to modeling, as you have to get it developed and scanned before yourself or your subject can see the photographs. Sometimes pausing to show your subject the images you've taken of them can disrupt the flow of the shoot and could make them feel a bit self-conscious, especially if they're not used to being photographed. So the gift of film is that they won't see the final images until the end of the shoot. Also, they might feel more encouraged knowing that the amount of shots you have for the day are limited because you are shooting on film. So it could be quite fun counting down the amount of shots you have left. And I'm sure they'll give the shoot everything they've got because film is expensive as hell. Tip number 2, video clips. If they're still feeling a bit shy about shooting, you can warm them up a bit by shooting some video clips on your phone or on your camera, encouraging them to pose, look into the camera, ask any questions, let out any laughs they might still have in them. And I guess if they really want some feedback as far as how they are looking, how their poses are looking, then a video is a great way of showing their movement to them. Tip number 3, dealing with passers-by. If there are lots of people passing by, do take a quick break. I know firsthand how embarrassing it can get when being photographed in public, so yeah, take a break if need be. Tip number 4, styling. In terms of styling, I would definitely recommend that you get your subject to wear their own clothes, even if it's just for the first look, just so they can feel as comfortable as possible in their poses and in their body language. You can also switch up their look a bit if they're wearing lots of layers. You can mix and match with pieces that you're providing. Tip number 5, facial expressions. If you want them to give a variety of facial expressions, definitely go to the extreme with your instructions, and then they can kind of relax into whatever expression you've told them to do. Once we had a few shots of my brother smiling, I told him to switch to a more angry face. After a while, his features relaxed into a moderately serious, smizing type situation. Tip number 6, location. In terms of location, definitely make sure that your locations are quite close by to one another and encourage your subject to make some suggestions as to which location to use next, because they might have some good ideas. And make sure your location isn't too public, just so your subject feels as comfortable as possible. Tip number 7, poses. In terms of poses, don't put too much pressure on your subject. You can make a mood board of poses to refer to yourself, but I wouldn't recommend showing it directly to your subject, as if it's their first time doing a shoot, they may find it quite overwhelming and difficult to recreate some of the poses. And also they may just feel a bit silly. They'll probably find it easier to follow you directly, especially if you start off with a more simple movement and then develop that into the next pose with just ever so slight movements. Some sort of things that can be done are hands in pockets, crossing of arms, looking away, turning the whole body to the side, walking away, crouching. So definitely get them to mirror you. Tip number 8, get them behind the camera. I'd recommend getting them to have a go at photographing you. This will give them a chance to have a go at directing you. This will help with their own movement and engagement with the camera. Tip number 9, engage in conversation with your subject. In between shots, let them know they're doing great. And if you've bribed a family member to get them to do the shoot with you, definitely remind them of that kebab you're going to get them later on when the shoot's all over. tip number 10, change outfits. Once they're a bit more comfortable with shooting, you can get them to switch into an outfit that you picked out, but again, make sure that they're comfortable with what they're wearing. At this point, really encourage them to go for some poses that they haven't tried yet. So those are my 10 tips for photographing family members, friends, flatmates, who may be doing this modeling thing for the first time. The most important thing, of course, is that you help them to feel as comfortable as possible. Notice as the shoot goes on that things will start to come quite naturally to them. This is a great way for you to keep working on your model direction skills, but also a great way to keep shooting during these tricky and often quite limiting times. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to leave any tips that you might have in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for some more photography content, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to check out some more of my work. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Peace.